Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Alma and this is Eternal Blissed. And today I want to share a personal story about animal communication. And this story is actually recapped in my blog, um, which can be found at eternalbliss.com. And the name of that particular blog entry is The Story of Tyson the Talking Dog. And this is a real story. This actually did happen. So let me go ahead and get started with that. So it was Saturday, November 28th of 2015, and myself and three other friends were out in Hollywood. We were basically bar hopping, which means you're hitting up different bars and you're just enjoying the scene, having a good time. We had been watching some live bands and having a couple drinks, just really enjoying ourselves and having a wonderful time. So it was about 2 in the morning, and the bartender yelled out, last call, which is basically when the bar's about to close and they give you a heads up for you to order your last drink. So we finished our drinks, and then my friend Santi decided that he wanted to go back to his house, which was not too far from the bar, and just continue talking and having a good time. So we went back to his apartment, and we were greeted by two massive pit bulls. Um, one of the pit bulls, the smaller one, her name is Chloe, and the other pit bull, the larger one, his name is Tyson. So I greeted both of them. I said hello, and usually when I greet a dog, I greet out loud and I also greet them mentally because I do believe that they can understand us through telepathy. So I greeted Tyson. I sat on the couch with my friend Jeanette, and we were talking while Santi and my other friend Israel were in the kitchen making drinks. And Tyson came up to me and he placed his head on my lap. And, he was just very sweet. And I petted him and he looked up at me. He placed his paws on my thigh. And he was just, very sweet, very expressive. And after that, we were still talking. Santi and Israel came back to join us. They gave us each a drink. And we were talking about just random whatever stuff. And suddenly, throughout all the chatter, I heard a voice saying, "Hey, look at me." And I thought, what? So I just stopped and looked around, and everybody was talking. Nobody seemed to heard what I had just heard. So whatever, I disregarded it and I just kept talking. And then shortly after that, again, I heard that voice that said, "Hey, look at me. I need for you to tell him something." Okay, so I thought that was really weird, but I disregarded it again. And casually, I just happened to look at Tyson, and his eyes met mine. And we stared at each other for a second, and I just thought it was kind of weird. And then once again, he said, "Hey, tell him something." And when he said that, he looked at me. And what I mean by said, it's not like talking, like verbal, like the way I'm talking to you with a full voice. No, it's more like a telepathy. It's more like a telepathic communication where the thoughts and the words and the expressions come in through your mind. So you hear it in your mind. And it's not a voice, with a pitch and sound. No, it's more like thoughts. It's more like you know something. So I just thought it was weird, and it kind of freaked me out. So I just looked at my drink and I tried to put two and two together, and I thought, okay, am I drunk or am I hallucinating or what's happening here? So once again, Tyson communicated with me, and he told me he needed to tell Santi something. And then Tyson left the room, and he went into Santi's closet and brought out a baseball hat, a blue baseball hat, and he placed it on Santi's lap. And we just thought it was the cutest, most hilarious thing to have this massive pit bull carry this cute little blue baseball cap and drop it at Santi's lap. And so then Santi said, "Tyson, what are you doing? You never do things like this. What's going on?" So then in my head, I heard, "Tell him to not be angry." And so Santi said, "Oh, well, this baseball cap belongs to a friend who I'm not in very good terms with right now. And, I'm not sure what Tyson's trying to tell me." So then right away, I just said, "You know what? Maybe you shouldn't be angry anymore. Tyson says you shouldn't be mad." And then the whole room went silent, and everybody just looked at me like I was crazy. And and then Santi just said, "Well, really?" And then from there on, once Santi was open to the idea of Tyson actually telling me something, the whole flood of communication between myself and Tyson just opened up. All of a sudden, I got a bunch of messages, just different comments, words, messages, images, pictures in my head. And, I started communicating this with Santi and telling him, yeah, Tyson said this and this and this. And then Santi's eyes just grew wide, and he just started confirming all of this information. He started telling us very, very personal details about his childhood, very difficult things that he went through. And as he was telling us these stories, Tyson was sitting there just commenting, giving me feedback, telling me what to tell him, how to feel, what his opinion is. And I just let it all flow. So I was just basically a channel. I was kind of like a medium when they're channeling the dead. That's exactly how I felt. I was just sitting there like a telephone line, just transmitting the message. So we sat there and did this for about an hour, and it got very, very intense because Santi told us some very personal, deep things, and essentially the whole essence of this conversation between Tyson and myself and Santi was that Tyson told me that he is actually an ascended being that came back to Earth in the form of a dog, so he incarnated as a dog to be with Santi because in the past they were brothers. They had spent previous lifetimes together, and unfortunately, I guess Santi had not been able to transcend into the same stage as Tyson is currently at. So Tyson decided to come back and teach him a lesson about love and loyalty and friendship. So when I told Santi these things, he was just, as you can imagine, if somebody tells you, your dog said he's here to teach you these life lessons, I'm pretty sure your mind would be blown away. And that's exactly how Santi was. He was fortunately very open to what I was saying, but he was also just in shock and disbelief. So this whole story I wanted to share with you is to open your mind to animal communication because it is real, because you really can communicate with your pets, with your companions. You can communicate with other animals that have nothing to do with you. All you need is to be absolutely open, respectful, non-judgmental, have your third eye awakened and fully set and concentrated with the high and strong intention of communicating with these beings. Animals are teachers. They're not a lower species. You have to see them as teachers. You have to see them as creators, just like us. They're here creating this reality. They are here for a purpose and for a reason, just like us. And if we know how to tap into that communication, we can learn from them and listen to their messages, which are very important in our evolution and our own ascension. So I really hope you enjoyed this story. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure to share them below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And also, I do recommend that you read the full story. It has really nice details at my blog, which can be found at eternalbliss.com. Thank you very much for your time, and until next time, see ya.